Hey guys, it's Weibo, your least favorite degenerate back here, and I guess I'm uploading, though don't expect much from me, because I'm honestly really doing this on the, side of everything I have going on. But yeah, if you don't care, skip to the timestamp on screen. I'm about to go into detail about, stuff about past the channel or whatever. If you just came here for the video, just click over here. Okay, since that's out of the way, I guess I'm gonna get into the stuff that happened in the past. Long story short, me and Vaza did not like doing the group channel. We felt like we were forced to do it, and we were holding ourselves up to too high of a standard or whatever. Yada yada. We ended up ending the channel. Now I'm back here on this channel, just creating videos about whatever pops in my head, and this is a result of that. Hope you enjoy. I'm ready to get flamed in the comments. If you haven't guessed already, there will be spoilers for Persona 3. So, if you haven't played, or just don't give a fuck, please stop the video. Thank you. Oh boy, I'm going to talk about Persona. What a surprise to everybody that I know. But for the channel, it's actually something I've never covered before, because while I was on my quote-unquote break, which is just me being a lazy fuck, I decided to get into Persona. And I played Persona 5 first, then 3, then 4. And now I want to talk about one of those games, which is 3. And the possibility and my wish list for a Persona 3 remake. And to get this out of the way, yes, I know this topic has been covered to death over YouTube. It's just that I don't care, and I want to share my garbage opinions to the world. So, let's get into it. I think the first issue that comes to mind when people think about Persona 3 compared to the newer games is that Persona 3 does not have controllable party members, and I 100% agree. So in my ideal version of a Persona 3 remake, we would of course have controllable party members. But I would also still keep the ability to have the AI controlled party members, kind of like in Persona 5 Royal. So you get the option of both. And this might be unrealistic, but maybe you could, in the settings, have it a setting that if you want your party members to be controlled or not, and then that would dictate a higher or lower difficulty based on it, so that the game can remain balanced for both options. Alright, so the story is definitely, in my opinion, the strongest point in this game has to offer. So I wouldn't change much except for a couple of things. First of which being that the Chidori and Shinji revival scenes are completely left out of this remake, because I believe they completely kind of shit on this game's message, and I do not think they belong in any version of Persona 3, let alone a definitive remake version. So that should definitely be kept out. As well as add some pacing improvements to the earlier parts of the game, because the Persona 3 really starts off really slow. But if they could add a little bit more interesting elements in the beginning, I think it would go quite nicely with the rest of the story. Other than these details, I wouldn't change the story, because I think the story of Persona 3 is really solid, and for the most part it sticks to its theme, except for those scenes. I want them fucking gone. So yeah, let's move on to the next point, which I think is, oh god. Not Tartarus. I'm not excited for this at all. Oh boy, I get to talk about Tartarus. I am so enthusiastic. Can you hear it in my voice? But with that aside, god. Tartarus is by far the lowest point in this game, in my opinion. This is because I find Tartarus, all 264 floors of it, to be extremely dull and offer little to no like variety to keep the player interested. Because like in my first playthrough of Persona 3, I found Tartarus really cool for the first 10 floors. But then after that, I was sick of it. And that isn't something that a cheap repaint of the same layouts isn't gonna fix. So here are my ideas to try and circumvent some of these issues. I think what would be good for Tartarus is something that was explored in Persona 4, which is to add some sort of like gimmicks to each part to make them stand out for the rest and play at least somewhat differently to add some sort of variety. Like, for example, some floors in Tartarus could possibly have like a special type of enemy that, let's say, like in the story purposes or whatever, is like too strong to fight or whatever at your current level. So instead, the main focus of these floors would maybe to be like to sneak past them and to get to the next floor, which I think might be an interesting idea to break up the monotony of just go up floor, run around floor, kill shadows in the way, and then go upstairs. And if anybody sees this video, you know, just leave your gimmick ideas in the comments. I'd appreciate them. I appreciate getting comments, and I'd like to see what kind of cool gimmicky ideas you guys have. I also think there could be like some other thing that could possibly happen on a half moon each time in Tartarus. Like a half moon like could change up Tartarus in some significant way, so that would add like some varieties and also an incentive maybe to visit Tartarus on those days. Like, for example, maybe on half moons Tartarus would like invert or something and the enemies become much stronger. Or hell, even if the developers wanted to go this far, I would say that half moons are like some special mini boss or whatever that you can access only on those days in Tartarus. You know, like this idea could really go a bunch of different ways, and I think it'd be pretty neat to break up the whole usual, oh, go to Tartarus, grind, get up the levels, and then reach the gate where you have to progress through the story next. Alright, this is a bit of a tricky one because it would be extremely cool to have Femzy in a Persona 3 remake, but also it's not really necessary / required. It would be a very, very cool thing to have, don't get me wrong, but it's not exactly like vital to the game that we have it. Since in this version, I would believe that all the C's members would get social links, so that there isn't like any special thing or whatever. It's just that in this definitive, quote-unquote definitive version of Persona 3, it would have an option for a male or female main character, which would be cool. Goddamn, how did I get 7 minutes into a Persona 3 remake video without even talking or mentioning about the graphics overhaul that it desperately needs? I know Persona 4 has very similar models to 3, but at least they have a little bit better textures and stuff, so it looks at least somewhat standard, while 3 is just left here in the dust as like this kind of like ancient caveman relic from the mid-2000s that desperately needs some attention for its graphics. Which this point is kind of what started my train of thought to, oh hey, let me make a video about a Persona 3 remake. Because this is definitely one of the biggest selling points, at least for people who've already played the game, or people who, hell, might even want to get into the game, but, you know, are thrown off by the outdated stuff about Persona 3. Because I think even under all the mountains of problems that Persona 3 has, I still think it is a really good game, and that's why I really, really want to get it a remake, so that we can try and like fix those problems and make it an even better game. So yeah, this has been Weibo. Hope you fucking hated my trash opinions, and good night.